Thanks for tuning in again to Norm Nathan's Vault of Silliness. Today we visit February 10th, 1996. I'll call this one the Norm and Tony Mixtape. Ed Leclair is producing, which allowed me to join Norm on the air, and we discuss a variety of topics. Dispersed here and there, that's a fancy way of saying they cut in and out, are promos and commercial announcements that Norm wrote and I voiced. I don't know how many of these we did together. Maybe they'll turn up here in the vault, but boy, I wish I had them all together and complete. We hear about show postponements, disclaimers, where guests stay where they appear on the show, a magical vacation destination, and some important advice about safe listening. Norm starts by talking about a guest, Jan King, who wrote the book Why Men Don't Have a Clue. Now, the interview was not on this tape, but he does refer to it a couple of times. Does Norm hint at retirement? And then we get into a cavalcade of star callers. Mary-Katherine, the allergy-ridden Kristin from Dorchester, Sandy from Washington, D.C., who inadvertently discovered us on the radio dial, Evelyn in Malden, who was a barrel of laughs, Dorothy from Brighton, Tim from Buffalo, New York, and David from Chicago, whose battery died the week before, and after replacing it and turning on the radio, it was on 1030 on the AM dial. He's been listening ever since and has some very nice things to say. And mixed in with those calls is one from Generosa. Listeners to WBZ will know that name. It was great to hear her voice again. Our sponsors, the Thornbirds, the Missing Years, Paula Lyons Consumer Reports promo, Salute to Innovation in New England, and Dave Dinger Ford with their thorough 53-point inspection on their used cars. Please like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell so you can be alerted the next time the Vault of Silliness opens.
Nathan Show, and I'm just so pleased. I'm so pleased the management decided to name the program after me. Because there were some other alternatives, They were going to call it The Shadow. For a while, they were going to call it The Shadow. Then they were going to call it The Johnny Carson Show. They had a million other names. One was Hobby Lobby with Dave Ellman. Anybody who was about 1 million years old and listened to radio every waking moment, they're the only people who remember the program Hobby Lobby with Dave Ellman. Do you remember that? You don't remember anything. That's why I like you, because it gives me a chance to teach you all kinds of stuff. Anyway, we're going to talk with Jan King in just a minute. Jan King, you say. Who is Jan King and what has she done? And is she a she? She certainly is. She's a very attractive lady. And she's written a book called Why Men Don't Have a Clue. In fact, she's written a whole lot of books. And these are hints, not hints really, but problems that women find about men. I think maybe I'm going to write a book about what we guys find problems about women. But anyway, she's got some interesting case studies and all of that, and she gives answers to women who've suffered these problems with their husbands, and what she thinks they ought to do about them. We'll discuss that with her in just a minute, but first...
To fall in love with all over again. The Norm Nathan Show is a heartwarming love feast. Excuse me, I think I'm going to be ill. Radio 1030 asks that you practice safe radio. While listening to the Norm Nathan Show, be sure to wear a condom on each ear.
A person, a kind person, and care about the feelings of others. Although, when you read this, Why Men Don't Have a Clue, you think, what kind of boorish people do some of these women marry, and why did they marry them in the first place? And I won't go through that, because we went through that for a whole hour and a quarter or something. But I suspect maybe women get married to guys because they don't know what else to do. You go with somebody long enough, the next step is to get married, even though you may have doubts by this time. I don't think I like a lot about that person. Yep. But I don't know, it's kind of like running downhill. You can't stop. And there you are, suddenly married, and you're not really sure you really want to be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that happens to a lot of people. If they're beyond when they get into their 30s, all of a sudden it's like, I guess I should get married now. What kind of reason is that?
There's no reason at all. Absolutely no reason at all. I didn't get married till I was 83.
I know.
I made that up. Okay. Be right back. If you have any comments you'd care to make, not only on what we were just talking about, but anything.
It's being broadcast on recycled paper and exceeds current safety standards.
People find their Valentines in lots of different places.
You know what I miss, too? You think I'm going to miss that?
Yes.
One other thing that I don't miss that I used to love to do was no school announcements. Because I feel that the whole world is waiting for these announcements, particularly back in the 40s before there was television. Now they flash on the screen quickly and stuff. But still people listen to radio to a great extent. And for me to be able to say, in Attleboro, no schools all day, we go through these lists that would last until it was time to go through them again.
Yep.
And we would even give, I mentioned this the other day, we would even give preschool announcement, not preschool.
Yeah, K through 8, grammar schools.
Well, I'm talking about kindergarten.
Yeah.
Nursery schools.
Mm-hmm.
Now here we have a snowstorm.
Daycare in Waltham.
Yeah, no, here we have a snowstorm that's 9,000 feet of snow is piling on. The winds are blowing 2 million miles an hour. Everything in the city is closed, and we come on with the Humpty Dumpty School will not be in session today. Well, of course not. But these people would call in because it was their way of getting a little publicity.
Yeah.
And we, like idiots, would read it. I think the best bet is to just tell what schools are going to be in operation instead of the ones that are not. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, that was before codes and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah,
now you have to call in the secret code.
Well, that's true. Otherwise, some kid would lower his voice and say, "There's going to be no school in Chelsea today." I was hear him snicker off the telephone.
Now back then when you did announce them, did you have someone who could screen that, who could be that discerning?
Well, now because we have computers, no, I probably not.
Yeah.
You have computers
so you
now,
probably canceled entire school systems, and it was probably just somebody.
We met.
Principal.
That's right. Hi, I'm the principal of the school. I'm the superintendent. I've called off all the schools all day. No, we had no way of. I don't. I think they did. They did have code words, but they were not computers, and so they'd have little strips of paper, little strips beside each school, and they would take them out and put them on big strips, big chunks of paper. Trying to keep them alphabetically.
Yeah.
At first, they weren't even alphabetical. We could go from
just read them as they came in.
Read them as they came in. That's right. We'd have. I don't know, all schools in Malden, then we go to Attleboro and Andover, and then to Xerxes Public School.
That's right, and then the Winchester.
Yeah. And I used to love that. I used to love getting stranded at the station with the snow piling. Oh, boy, I'll never be able to get home today. I'll be able to work 24 hours a day for the next month, just sitting here reading those. And I thought that was exciting.
Yeah, there's an excitement about, maybe.
Well, there was then. There wasn't there. Now all I do is I just hope I get stranded at home. That shows you it's time to retire from the business when you lose that adventuresome kind of feeling.
Oh. What are you hinting at, Nathan? Jeez. You can't retire. I've got the show booked until the end of next year.
I know it. It's unfortunate. I know it. And I know all of Bob Rawley's vacation dates through next January. Yeah. So I can't. I've got to stick around. Anyway, here's the tri-state.
Oh, lottery numbers. What do we get on there? We get Arkansas, Iowa. We get all. You have to read them all one night.
Okay, let's see if there's anything really exotic. Pennsylvania.
Even the names of the games are pretty funny. Like Rhodey Cash in Rhode Island. That's a pretty funny name.
A lot of them don't have not too terribly imaginative.
We're pretty good in Massachusetts, if I must say so. I mean, Megabucks, Mass Millions, a lot of plays. Play on words like that.
Yeah. Now in Pennsylvania, for example, they call it just the winning numbers, and then they also have a thing called Pennsylvania Cash 5 game. I have no idea what that means.
Days off for the next year.
Until January 1997.
Yeah. So you really, you're going to have to do, and here I am telling you what to do instead of the other way around, but you don't have much leisure time. I mean, all your weekends are taken up, right?
The weekends are kind of tough, yeah.
Yeah.
But during the week, though, man, I can, I'm ready for beer.
Your producer there is laughing. I hear him.
Well, he laughs at everything I do because he hates my guts.
I haven't heard that before,
okay.
Unless you only hear him when you are on the phone, right? Is that the case?
I only hear him when I'm on the phone.
No, like on this call, you don't hear him when, like on the radio.
Oh, no. Normally he's in the control room. Right now he's actually here in the studio sitting across from me.
Oh, why?
I don't have any idea. He adores me and he wants to be like me. I'm his role model.
I'm in
No,
training.
Well, to get back to my main subject, if there is one, at this time of night, I'm
You
not
don't
sure.
sound like that former lady who just signed on this conversation at all.
That was my timid voice.
Oh, I see.
You know,
Okay.
we all have two personas, and the real one is the timid one, and the one I'm talking now is the bravado one.
Okay.
And you do the same thing. I notice on the program. I hate it when you put yourself down. Absolutely hate it. And I feel like shaking you if I were in the same
No,
room.
but remember this. A lot of people tell me that I become it's not condescending to myself. What is it? There's another word. In any event, the reason I do that is I'm kind of sure. I think the people who talk themselves up are the ones who really have no self-esteem and not really sure of themselves.
I agree.
So they have to paint a picture of themselves that may or may not exist. I can talk myself down and poke fun at me. Why? Why is that? Finish the sentence for me, would you, for God's sake?
The truth is a lot easier to tell.
The truth is a lot easier to tell.
I don't think that's really what I was driving at there at all. I don't
That's
think
what the
You're not
young
lying,
man
Norm.
thinks.
You're telling the truth. It's easy for you.
No, it's like I think certain men, for example, control their women because they're not sure of their own machismo. They think.
You said it. You said it.
So I think that's true. I think if you're sure of yourself, even if you look like a fat sissy like me, there's no problem, because I'm sure of myself. I don't. What am I talking about myself like that for when all I really want is you sweetheart?
I just want to know what you think of letter writing, like that school teacher in New York or wherever she was from. Would you consider writing to her and getting acquainted in letters before you meet her?
I'm sorry, are we talking about Tessa's mother?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't know about... No, I think if you want to have a relationship, letter writing is nice to get or talking on the phone to get a person's sense of humor, what kind of personality they have. But meeting them, maybe for coffee or something like that, or meeting them for a full-fledged meal at a hotel with lots of booze flying.
Oh, no.
Somewhere in between the two, maybe.
No, see, I'm the same age as you. I'm also widowed, and they warn me. Now, I've had people say, now, you're alone, and this and that and the other thing. You've got to watch out for the drinkers. And I would have never thought of that, because my husband did not drink to any great extent, nor I. And, the big flag went up. I said, oh, gosh, I still have so much to learn, about people. That would be not one thing that I'd put on my list to be checked off, and personality and humor is at the top.
Well, I think that's true. No, it's true. I know people say that, and you wonder whether they really mean it. But if somebody's got a good sense of humor and they're a warm personality, I remember going out with the young women way back, before I was married, back when I was in the early 20s, and some women who looked absolutely fantastically wonderful, tremendously
Gorgeous.
Beautiful. After about 3 minutes of conversation, they didn't look so great anymore because they had no sense of humor and nothing to talk about. And the ones that looked very plain because of their personality and their knowledge and their warmth, suddenly before the evening was out, they looked fantastic. So I think a physical being. What am I saying? And what you look like physically changes a lot depending on your personality.
Right.
I think if you were with me for even 3 minutes, you'd say, God, he looked like a pumpkin-faced, fat old guy.
Oh, there you go again.
But right now, but let me finish, though. But right now, God, he's beautiful.
My cute little jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, my jack-o'-lantern. Let's stick a candle in his mouth.
I just loved it.
Stick him on the back porch.
Put him on the floor.
Can I get a word in edgewise?
I'm sorry. Go right ahead, please.
I just loved it the time you said you had to go out of the house or something because the house was so messy. And the yard was better. I'm not phrasing it.
I said you had to wipe your feet when you left the house.
Oh, God, did I love that. And it's probably not true because you probably have a housekeeper, right?
No, not yet, but...
it's coming.
I'm working on one, you know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, I'm going to say so long. It's been fun.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mary-Katherine.
Okie doke.
Take care, dear.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See, now, at first she sounded ugly, but by the time we finished our conversation, she sounded absolutely gorgeous. And that just shows you what personality. Did you ever think about getting a personality, Tony Nesbitt?
A personality? It's the weekend of love on your show.
It's a weekend of love. John Javner's the guy who edited it, JAVNER. It's called, what's the title of that?
Uncle John's Bathroom Reader.
Oh, Uncle John's Bathroom Reader.
This was the best of.
The best of, yeah. He put out about 8 volumes before that, and the one we talked about was the one that came out more recently. It was the best of Uncle John's Bathroom Reader.
Wow. Thanks, David. Maybe you can throw in a couple tonight and a couple tomorrow night and a couple on Sunday night because you're in all night, Sunday and Monday.
And
Sunday to Monday.
And throw in a couple of Valentine's Day birthdays. Yeah, the Valentine's
Add them
Day.
to the list, huh?
Valentine's Day would be on Wednesday this year, right? Is it the 14th?
Thursday. 11th?
Is it the 14th or 15th?
14th.
14th. Okay, that would be on a Wednesday, I believe. And, yeah, there are a number of people, well-known people who have birthdays on Valentine's Day.
Then what the heck?
What the heck? We can do that. Yeah, that's true. Valentine's Day, special kinds of things we have coming up for this weekend.
We have tomorrow night, or tonight, I should say, at 11 o'clock, we have 3 local authors, Joanne Ferguson, Kathy Stanton, and Mary Kruger. And they write romance novels, and they're all, a lot of them, too. As I put it in the show, I'm prolific. A lot of books.
The best way to cook eggplant if you don't know what you're doing is you put some oil in a frying pan, you take your eggplant, and you slice off the very top of it where the stem is. You throw that part away. You slice the rest of the eggplant, down vertical in slices about 1 inch thick. You take a couple of eggs, beat them in a bowl, dip the eggplant in the egg, and then dip it in any kind of breadcrumbs he likes, and then you just fry it on a low flame. You turn it over once or twice. When it's soft, it's done. Then you put it on either paper towels or brown paper bag ripped open to drain the excess oil out of it. And if you want to turn the same thing into what they call eggplant parmesan, you cook it the exact same way I just said, but you line it in a shallow baking pan. You put a layer of that cooked breaded eggplant and then a layer of sauce and another layer of eggplant. When you get to the top, you finish it off with mozzarella cheese and you bake it at 375 for about 45 minutes, and that's what they call eggplant parmesan.
Gee, it sounds great. Excellent. You give great recipes.
Oh, I've been cooking for years. I cook better than most women.
This time will not be heard at this time. Instead, WBZ News Radio 1030 will broadcast the Norm Nathan Show that was scheduled to be heard August 17th. The August 17th broadcast will be heard on March 6th. The March 6th broadcast has been postponed indefinitely. We regret any inconvenience these changes may have caused. Thank you. Luxurious accommodations at the legendary Hotel Stanley, an historic landmark close to the opulent shops, gourmet restaurants, and exciting nightlife of fashionable Chelsea.
Humidity. I think that the worst time is probably late summer, before the first frost. Oh. I think it's the same as anybody with an allergy.
Yeah,
it's sort of
I get the hay fever.
Do you? Well, you're probably affected the same times of year I am. I think it's in the spring and then late summer. Wintertime is not so bad, unless it's... the thing is, I'm sort of allergic to everything I've got at home.
Oh, really?
Hay, grass, cats, and, of course, lots of dust. Oh. Around the house. I'll have to do some dusting, I guess.
Go around with your little dust buster, trying to get all the dust bunnies off of it.
All that kind of stuff. But here at BC, where they do not keep cats running around the house, or hay or grass or anything, and they've got quite a good air conditioning unit, I have really no problem here at all, as you can tell by just my rambling on and on and on like this.
Well, in the plush WBZ 70 floors, I would hope it would be that good.
It is. The air conditioning is great right up to the very top where the WBC first class A1 hotel, of course, is situated for those of us who just want to live right here all the time because we love the place.
I heard that it's $1,000 a night for the best suite.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We have some of the great Arab chieftains do come. That's where they stay. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They drive their limousine into the Why don't I shut up?
When you're there during the breaks, during the news, do you sneak up there to take a peek around because they won't let you in any other time?
No, sometimes when I go out, like at 5 o'clock this morning,
Yeah.
I'm saying this often because otherwise they're liable to bar me from going up there. But at 5 o'clock this morning, I take the elevator up to the top floor. And the lobby, of course, is something because there are fresh flowers there all the time and all kinds of expensive vases and stuff. They call them vases. When you get to pay that much for it. Anyway, and I just kind of walk around and I try to peek over to see who's registered.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing, the people. Sharon Stone, for example, I was in one of the suites here.
Wow.
When a week's vacation in sun-drenched Allston, Massachusetts. Endless white sand beaches, world-class casinos, championship golf, and non-stop shopping make Allston the perfect vacation getaway.
Yes, I'm glad we get that disclaimer in, that announcement.
Those are so funny. There was another thing I wanted to comment on. I heard them once. Those are great. Did you just do them this weekend?
Yeah. Tony just recorded them. I was sitting around last week writing these things. Well, I thought it'd be kind of fun to just drop those things in from time to time. And I'm ready, after I visit the plush hotel, the first-class hotel up there, I thought I'd go home and write some more, and we'd do some more for next week.
Yeah, then we can put them all together and make a CD out of them. I heard the one that said, the show for today will be from August 17th, and he was saying all that, and I was like, I was going to say, that's good, that's my birthday, so I could hear me playing the dumb birthday game from my birthday on August 17th.
Oh, you got suckered right into that one, didn't you?
I know, I was looking forward to it, and I said, hey, this isn't the birthday game, where am I?
I'm a photographer in the area where I live.
Was it with your horse, or was it just,
Well, we tried some with the horse and with the dogs and all that, but he claims they didn't come out too well, so we don't have those yet, but maybe we'll... I know some people would rather have a picture of my horse than me, and I don't blame them. Frankly, I would too.
No.
So we'll try to get a picture of her too, but so far we don't really have anything too great. Maybe Tess will do that.
Yeah, I wanted to take them for you with my camera, but if I didn't have a car, if I had a car, I would have been asking you if you wanted me to do it.
Okay.
So I didn't want to.
Well, you're very kind. I appreciate that. We'll work something out as the time goes on.
I want to be first on the list for that new picture.
For the new picture.
I want a big 8x10 glossy.
Wait a minute.
Framed and matted and autographed.
Framed and matted and autographed.
Is that too much?
And an expensive frame, also, I think.
You can see one at the dollar store. Will be all right.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Kristin.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon, Norm.
Bye, Kristin.
Have a nice weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
She said she's such a cute. Hey, we go to Washington, D.C. And Sandy, I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Sandy.
That's okay. I just have a phone bill that has the national debt.
I know, but actually, it'll make you feel better. Rates are the cheapest this time of day, anyway.
It should be, I would think.
No, I think they... The soil moist underneath and all that. And then I guess your dad is right. I don't know what I'm arguing with you for.
I don't know. Well, he always called it that. I thought, well, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was just shocked that I picked you up. I couldn't sleep, and I turned the radio on and thought it would be on my regular station that I listened to, and a Washington station, and the dial had gotten all messed up with cleaning the radio. And I was just fooling around, and I picked up this clear station. I thought, okay, I'll listen to that. And when you ever said WBC, I thought, that can't be. I can't be.
Yeah, no, we get quite Linker. In fact, he may be on now. He does the overnight news shift.
I listen to WTOP if Rush Limbaugh is on WMAL.
I see. You switch away from.
Yeah, I truly do. I'm not a fan.
I'm glad you said that. I'm not a fan either.
But I was born in Boston.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. I won't tell you when. A while ago.
Well, it's not that far. You sound very young, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you. And I lived there only 6 years, but we always went back to visit friends and everything. And my mother was from the Boston area, had lived in the Boston area for a long time. So I spent a great deal of time there. Only recently I haven't, and I just miss it a lot. And I just loved listening to the previous caller's accent, and it was just like.
Yeah, we have a lot of that. Yeah. Where were you born, and where did you grow up? At least till the age of 6.
I was born in Framingham.
Oh yeah.
And then we moved very shortly after I was born to Bedford.
Yeah.
That's the only.
Also west of Boston.
Right. Yeah.
The same general kind of area.
Yeah.
And did your dad get a job in government or something? Is that why you moved down to Washington?
Well, no. My father was with General Mills, the Betty Crocker people.
Oh, I sure do. Yes.
Right. And he was transferred to Buffalo before we came here. And actually, Buffalo was a nice place. We all thought, oh, my God. It actually turned out to be nice. And then he became the liaison for the government accounts of General Mills.
I see.
Quite a few government accounts. And he became the liaison for the government accounts, so we were transferred down here.
Is General Mills still General Mills, or has that been absorbed into some other group?
No, it's still General Mills.
Okay, and they're looking for a new Betty Crocker.
Right. Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because the papers have been running pictures of the different Betty Crockers through the years. I mean, I know it's supposed to be the same Betty Crocker.
But I always thought it was the same lady.
Yeah, the same lady, only kind of brought up to date several times.
Yeah.
And now they want to.
They want to modernize her, I guess.
They want to modernize her some more. I guess that was fairly typical. They've done that so many times.
Yeah, I hadn't even realized they had either. I thought it was the same person from when I remember. But well, you never know, I guess. Anyway, I love the Boston area, and I want to get back there. I've for Handicapped Citizens Act or something to that effect.
Well, where this public school system was responsible for students from the age of 3 up to about 23, something like that.
Yes, until it depends on most states. I think it's 21, 22.
Yeah,
and
retarded unit.
Yeah,
there's a name for the area, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. But the woman, and I've forgotten her name, who was the head of that and taught the kids. I mean, she had to have even more patience than your nephew or this lovely lady from Washington D.C. who called, because these are kids who are blind, who are profoundly retarded, and the fact that we can find people like that who are willing to spend their careers trying to help kids like this, I think is incredible.
I do too, and they deserve so much. I admire anyone like that. I don't know. Sometimes even when I go into the nursing home, sometimes to give communion or something, I marvel at the people that do things like that, because it takes a lot of. You have to have a little bit of compassion and feeling for your fellow man, and it's just like now Sunday. I'm going to go. Tomorrow is Sunday, isn't it? My brother's table, and when you're serving, dishing out plates filled with food for these homeless people, you just look and you say, there, but for the grace of God go I. But anyway, it's a wonderful feeling that you're able to do something that way.
That's right.
And but anyway, that I didn't want to sound like melodramatic, but I had to call you up because the lady said, I've been trying to get through. Your lines are so busy. Between the hours of 4:30 or between 4 and 5, that it's very difficult for me to get through sometime. But I had a call from a lady from Stoneham, and the line wasn't very clear, but she said, are you going to be talking to Norm tomorrow morning? And I said, well, if I can get through, I'll say hello to everybody.
Okay.
So anyway, but I do want you to know, Norm, that no matter where I go, your name is always cropping up in the conversation.
Well, we'll have to stop that, for heaven's sake.
And I'm very proud to say, well, I know him. I don't know whether he'll say he's proud to know me, but anyway, it works out all right. That's my WBZ family.
I'm proud to know you, and I hope you have a great day today, Generosa.
You too, Norm.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye. Okay, how about we go to Evelyn in Malden. Hi, Evelyn.
Hello, Norm.
Hello.
Listen, I taught in a school for retarded children for 9 years. I was a nun at the time. And the idea of putting them in classes with regular students give those children hell. And I'm not kidding. Regular students make life very difficult for them.
Well, I think it depends. Doesn't it depend on the child?
depends on the teacher, too. And whether
Well,
you
and
can
the
get
teacher
it.
also. I don't know. It's been a practice in a lot of schools I know for about almost 25 years now, and I haven't heard too many people complain about it in that way.
It's possible that it's working, but the other students tend to call them dumb and stupid, and if you're doing extra work with them, it's really, and our kids today are more cruel than kids have been, and I don't know that it's the best idea, but if it's working, fine, but if that
no, I don't know. I just say that because, as I mentioned, that I was on the local school committee when that public law came into effect, and when they tried to integrate kids with certain disabilities into regular classrooms, and so they didn't feel like they were separate.
Well,
maybe kids.
If the teacher can get that across to the other kids, fine. But if she can't,
I understand that, and if there's a great problem, I guess they can't do it. They would have to be moved out, and the town or the city would have to pay for education at a special place. And there's a fair amount of that going on too.
How did your sexology class go?
My sexology.
Yeah, David Bednar said you were going to have a sexology class.
Oh no, I didn't hear him say that.
That's why I didn't listen until just now.
No, it wasn't until just now. No, that was way back the first hour, and it wasn't quite a sexology class.
See.
No.
I see. Well, anyway.
The best bet is to just tune in, and if it bothers you, then tune out. But don't let the word sexology, scare you off.
They should get rid of that word sex because the word sex means number 6 in Latin. That's what it really means. What they should call it is what it really is. Human.
Does the word sex bother you that much?
No. I'm trying. I don't like Latin words. Latin is a dead language, and they ought to leave it there. They should call it human intercourse. That's what they should call it. That's what it really is. What does sex mean? It's the number 6 in Latin. That's all. Well, anyway,
you'd be a very hard person to sit and carry on light conversation with Evelyn. I don't see any point to what you're saying along those lines. The fact that it's a Latin word, sex is an English word too. I mean, that's
It is not.
Yes, it is. Sex is an English word. You're going to tell me not?
It has an English meaning.
Well, I mean, a lot of our words derive from Latin that derive from other languages.
Yeah, they do, and they ought to leave them there.
Well, much of our language would be obliterated if we got rid of all words that came from other languages.
Well, that's true.
The word sex is what really bothers you. It is not the fact that it comes from Latin.
Yeah, well, for instance, I prefer the term make love to the term sex, have sex. They say I had sex. No, I made love. I prefer the term make love than had sex.
Okay, then use it. I won't stop you.
Okay. Sorry I made your last few minutes too serious.
Okay, Evelyn. You certainly did. I mean, we get hung up on such odd kinds of things, don't we? It doesn't matter what time it is. Let me tell you what the weather is, and then we'll take some more calls. 254-1030, the area code 617. BZ's extended AccuWeather forecast from Dave Bowers calls for sunshine this morning, followed by increasing cloudiness, rather windy, highs about 42. At night, mostly cloudy with lows 36. Sunday, there'll be 1 or 2 periods of rain. Late overnight tonight, Saturday night, and into Sunday, highs on Sunday 46. So mild weather continuing throughout the weekend and getting a little cooler on Monday. Partly sunny with a cold wind, highs 30. Bill Lawrence will be along with the BZ News team in about 10 minutes from now or so, and you'll get an update on the weather and all kinds of updates on all kinds of stuff. And we'll take some calls in just a minute. But first...
Richard Chamberlain returns to television in a world premiere miniseries, The Thornbirds, The Missing Years. Here are the missing moments.
You said you loved me.
The missing secrets.
I didn't lie to you.
And the missing revelations that only now can be told. Richard Chamberlain stars in The Thornbirds, The Missing Years. Be there from the beginning.
Begins Sunday at 9 p.m. on WBZ TV4.
Another WBZ News 4 tradition. Paul Alliance, News for Consumers. New England's most accomplished consumer reporter. The only one with exclusive research from Consumer Reports magazine. The best consumer reports. That's tradition.
Ever since the first patent in America was granted in colonial New England,
Good luck to thee, Brother Thomas.
Thank you.
one good idea has followed another.
Either the patient can be maintained.
But innovation is more than part of history. It's what keeps New England ahead of the competition, creating new industries and new jobs. And that means a brighter future for everyone. This salute to innovation is brought to you by Bay Networks and Legal Seafoods.
How does Dinger do it? Come and see. Come to Dave Dinger Ford in Braintree. In Braintree.
Dinger Ford on Wood Road in Braintree has been selling A1 used cars and trucks since 1966. How does Dinger do it? With the best selection of high-quality, low-mileage used cars and trucks in the Boston area. Dinger gives these pre-owned vehicles a thorough 53-point inspection to ensure safe, hassle-free driving. Dinger backs every used car and truck sale with a Ford factory warranty. So if a problem comes up later, you're covered. And best of all, Dinger prices all their used cars and trucks to sell fast. Low prices, quality vehicles, and Ford factory warranties. That's how Dinger does it for you. Dave Dinger Ford, exit 6 off I-93 near the South Shore Plaza, Braintree.
How does Dinger do it? Come and see. Come to Dave Dinger Ford in Braintree. In Braintree.
Look for the big American flag.
Yeah, let's go to Dorothy in Brighton. Hi, good morning, Dorothy.
Good morning, Norm. A very brief note to applaud intelligence and try to eradicate some ignorance. The intelligence of the lady in Maryland who's not only intelligent but doing a beautiful job in the world. But the ignorance of the woman who hated the word sexology and then would want to call it human intercourse. Homo in Latin means man or mankind. Human comes from that. Intercourse from between in Latin. And cursus is the past participle of the verb that we get current from, meaning to run. So she's back into Latin anyway. I don't know what she's talking about, but that's the kind of nonsense.
Yeah, the word sex is what really bothered her, not because it came from Latin. And
I know, but
because David Brett and I said we were going to talk with a sexologist, which we didn't. She was not a sexologist.
Yes, but you see, it's ignorance parading as knowledge, which she doesn't have, or she wouldn't say such things.
Well, I think she was very prejudiced and biased and very close-minded.
It's got my goat.
No, it got my goat too.
If she really knew Latin, she wouldn't even be She's hanging on to a false argument. She's grounding her argument in a false place.
No, I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're okay, Dorothy.
Okay, you are too, Norm. I appreciate you.
Thanks a million.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, let's go to Tim, who's in Buffalo, New York. Hi, Tim.
Hello, Norm. How
Hi.
you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Norm, I talk to you about once a year. One of the last times I talked to you was when my sister lived in Fall River, Massachusetts. And we actually got her on the phone talking to you. Her husband was in the Navy out of Rhode Island.
Oh, yeah.
And she had given me a radio that she owed me some money. And she gave me a radio, and she wrote on the radio, "Long live Norm Nathan." And she didn't even know who you were up until that point.
Oh, that's
nice. Not what I called about. I called about pitch and tone, and because you're such a music wizard. Now, what is the pitch? Is that how long you hold the note?
No, pitch, I think, would be the...
what note it is?
Yeah, it would be the note itself, would be the pitch. I believe so. I'm not really very good at the technical terms, but I think pitch would be the note itself.
Oh,
and
I learned something tonight.
And tone would be the quality.
Oh, God, the quality. But how long do you hold it? Is that up to the individual? How long you'd hold the note?
No, I mean, it would be depending on the way it was written or what the arrangements were. I mean, if you look at a sheet music, that's all laid out for you.
How are your daughter Sonia doing?
My daughter Sonia and my daughter Sarah both doing fine, thank you.
Yeah, because I tell my friends who seem like they know a little bit about baseball that Sonia could blow them out of the water with statistics.
I don't know, maybe she could, but she is a big baseball fan, and we do try to get to some.
Norm, I'll let you go. I still have the picture up on my memorabilia wall of you that you so flatteringly sent. No, wait a minute. I flatteringly requested it from you.
That's right.
Norm, I'll let you go.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Wonderful call. Thank you, Norm.
Thank you, Tim. Bye-bye now. Okay. It's about 4 minutes before 5 o'clock, and we'll be here in just another few minutes. This is kind of a love weekend. I can't believe somebody would not tune in because it was announced that we were going to have a sexologist on. I bet a lot of people probably tuned in because of that word. She wasn't a sexologist. A part of her book was on that, how the compatibility of adults and married adults and all that. But mostly it was about problems that the women have with men who, as she says, don't have a clue as to why women are unhappy with some of their actions. And she had some good points. And people calling in with problems that they might be having with their fiancés or their husbands or, and what to do. And, you can buy the advice or not. It's up to you. But I thought a lot of what she said made a whole lot of sense. And it just wasn't, we're not talking big sex kinds of stuff. Anyway, tonight we'll have 3 local and prolific authors of romance novels as we begin our big sort of Valentine's Day weekend. They will share their personal experiences. This is usually the way they write them for these romance novels. They'll share their personal experiences in the arms of hunky heroes on white sand beaches, the ocean crashing to the shore. Anyway, Joanne Ferguson, Kathy Stanton, and Mary Kruger are the 3 authors, and they will be with us tonight at 11 o'clock, Saturday night. And then Sunday night, we have Greg Godek, who's the author of 1,001 Ways to Be Romantic and 1,001 More Ways to Be Romantic, who's researched love and relationships for 25 years. So if you're having trouble with your special someone, maybe you can give us a call. Maybe we can help you out. Again, maybe we can't help you out. I don't know. And also we'll be giving about a dozen of the books away, too. But that's Sunday night anyway. We get a little bit of time to wait for that, 11:05 on Sunday night. We have David from Chicago. We only have about a minute left of time. David, hi. I'm sorry that we're running almost to the end of the program, but I'm glad you called.
Well, good morning. About a week ago, my battery went dead here in frigid Chicago, and when I reconnected it, the radio station was on 1030, and I was driving into work, and here comes 50,000 watts from Boston, Massachusetts, and I just have to say, for the last week, it's been wonderful to listen to a radio station where people can be themselves, and I'll continue to listen and find out more about things on the East Coast and Massachusetts, Boston, a town I visited last year, and it was wonderful. And I think you've got a great station and a great program.
Well, that's a lovely thing to say, David. I really appreciate that. Are you up going to work now?
I'm in work now, yes. I just started at 4 o'clock.
You sound like you could be in broadcasting yourself, are you?
Well, no, I'm not, Nathan, but gosh, I surely would love to be. I'm in maintenance.
Because you've got a great voice. You sound real good.
Well, thank you, and so do you. And so do your listener.
I hope you'll call maybe a little bit earlier in the evening sometime so we can talk a little bit more about it.
I sure would. I'd be glad to.
Okay, I appreciate you calling. Thanks a million, David.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, it is time to say goodbye. Ed Leclair and Tony Nesbitt, the lovely Marilyn Derelick. I'm Norm Nathan. We'll see you tonight, okay? Would that be all right? If you can squeeze out some time for us after 11. Bill Lawrence and the news coming along. Next, you'll get updated on everything, including the latest weather forecast. See you tonight. Bye-bye, old sport.
While you're driving your car, we're driving 50,000 watts of power. News all day, every day. News Radio, 1030, WBZ, Boston.
Phew. A lot was covered in that episode. Norm appealed to so many, old and young alike. Not that I needed to be reminded, but it's so pleasing to hear that variety again and to share it all with you. Next episode is a continuation of that February weekend back in 1996. It's time to say hello to our new listeners. South Korea and Australia. Thank you just so darn much for joining us. Closing the vault and riding the radio waves home. For Paula Lyons, 53-point inspections, frigid Chicago nights, the sweet Generosa, and the pumpkin-faced Norm Nathan, I'm Tony Nesbitt.